Chapter 8. The Inescapable Fate. She wasn't Lady Elara Thorne, living and breathing. She was the dead Lady Elara Thorne. She was meant for the underworld, a ghost clawing her way back from its depths. That's why the heavens wept with torrential rain, why mountainsides abruptly gave way, why sunlight felt like fire, and why her flesh decayed. Heaven sought to reclaim her, to kill her immediately. When men tried to kill her, she could fight back, she could prepare. But what could a person do when heaven itself sought their end? Yet there might be a way. At 13, Lady Elara had gone to Valoria. 10 years later, she died on her wedding day. This was her fate. If she clung to this destiny, could she somehow deceive heaven? If the Lady Elara of now remained the 13-year-old Lady Elara, still bound for Valoria to marry into the Blackwood family, still destined to die, if nothing changed, then there would be no ghost risen from the dead. That's why, when she declared her intention to continue to Valoria and marry into House Blackwood, the pain in her body vanished. She had acted on this realization. She stopped thinking of returning to Riverbend Hold, stopped allowing Page Finn to ask for directions, and avoided heading directly toward Riverbend Hold. Instead, she wandered aimlessly, feigning confusion. Of course, she wasn't truly lost. Her meandering path, though seemingly random and circuitous, was slowly bringing her closer to Riverbend Hold. She recognized the towns and prefectures they passed, even though she'd never been there. Her father's detailed maps, her primary pastime during her 10 years in Valoria, had unexpectedly proven useful. And so, she smoothly approached Riverbend Hold. Her wounds, though still present, hadn't worsened, nor had the pain returned. Truly worked. A wave of joy washed over Lady Elara, but it was swiftly followed by profound sorrow. She had to die to live in this moment. Death was Lady Elara Thorne's unchangeable fate, whether it came now or 10 years from this day. A searing pain shot through her fingertips. Lady Elara returned to awareness to see the first light of dawn. The morning glow kissed her fingers, where they rested on the window frame. She pulled her hand back, letting it fall to her side. I will go to Valoria. I will marry Lord Nolan Blackwood. I will ensure my brother is settled, sending him back to the Swordfall Marches, then I will go to Valoria, she stated calmly and gravely in a hushed voice. She retreated deeper into the room's shadows, feeling the pain in her wounds gradually recede. The morning sun hung high now. Lord Cale Thorne emerged from the room, his face flushed and refreshed from a good night's sleep and meal, Mistress Glynis at his side. Sister is fine, he announced to Lord Cashin Thorne and the others, who had been waiting anxiously. We don't need a physician. She just needs some rest and she'll recover. No one truly believed him, but Lord Cashin simply smiled and nodded. That's good, that's good. Their gazes drifted past Cale to the closed door of the room, which remained silent. Lord Corvin, Mistress Glynis stated, her gaze falling upon Lord Corvin Blackwood, who stood behind Lord Cashin. Though she didn't formally recognize him, his position and bearing beside Lord Cashin clearly indicated his status. Lord Corvin met her gaze, and Mistress Glynis bowed to him. My lady sends her thanks for your escort of the young lord back home, she conveyed. Lord Corvin nodded. It was my duty. Tell your lady to rest easy and recover. Mistress Glynis bowed again. Then her eyes searched the crowd, frowning slightly. Lord Galen. Her tone was starkly different than it had been with Lord Corvin. Lord Galen emerged from behind the other servants, acknowledging her. My lady asks what precisely were the Grand Marshal's instructions to you? Mistress Glynis inquired. Lord Galen lowered his head. To ensure the safety and well-being of the young mistress and the young lord. My lady was in trouble, Mistress Glynis stated, her voice sharp. You should have come to investigate alone. Why did you bring the young lord? The journey is long and dangerous. Who could guarantee his absolute safety? Lord Galen dropped to one knee. I am guilty. The courtyard fell silent, the young lady's displeasure palpable. Lord Cale Thorne looked uneasy, glancing back at the closed door and murmuring, Sister. Lord Cashin cleared his throat. While he too was displeased with Lord Galen's actions, a public reprimand wasn't ideal. This was the moment for him, the senior elder, to step in. Lord Galen's actions were rash this time, but I believe he considered everything before escorting Cale back, he said, turning toward the room and softening his voice. What's done is done. Lara, don't be angry. Focusing on your recovery is most important. Lord Kale nodded in agreement. Yes, uncle, thank you for your trouble. Lady Elara's voice drifted from behind the closed door. And third eldest uncle, you also endured a hard journey. Lord Lyman Thorne hadn't expected to be thanked. He quickly chuckled. No trouble at all, no trouble. We're family. No need for formalities. Inside, Lady Elara offered no further words. Mistress Glynis bowed to Lord Lyman Thorne on her behalf. Lord Kale spoke up. Uncle, I'm well rested. I'll go see grandmother. Lord Kale had arrived in the middle of the night, not disturbing the Grand Matron Thorne. However, by morning, she would surely know of his return. A junior should always pay respects, but given the circumstances of Lady Elara and Lord Kale, if he hadn't gone, no one would have dared scold him. Then, the Grand Matron would have had to come to him. Lord Cashin breathed a sigh of relief when Kale offered to go. It's better to go when you're well rested. Your grandmother will worry less, he said. The Grand Matron is awake, isn't she? A servant woman confirmed. She's currently having her meal. Lord Kale walked over and took Lord Cashin's hand. That's wonderful. Uncle, please take me. I'll have breakfast with grandmother. Lord Cashin had 2 sons and 2 daughters and several granddaughters. He valued dignity and rarely showed physical affection to his children. He was quite surprised to be held by this 10-year-old child, especially given it was Lord Kale. Lady Elara had grown up in the family manor for several years, but Lord Kale had been taken away before his first birthday. His visits back were rare, and his stays short. Though he was the eldest grandson of the main branch of the Thorne family, he was essentially a stranger to most within the family. And Lord Anson Thorne had doted on both children, spoiling them immensely. When they returned home, they were more like guests, even honored guests. Lord Anson Thorne had never been physically close to anyone in the family. But now things were different. Children who had lost their father had only the Thorne family to rely on. They couldn't possibly rely on outsiders or servants. Lord Cashin smiled, gripping Kale's hand. Your grandmother will be so pleased to see you. She might eat 2 more bowls of rice. Lord Kale had slept well all night. The adults, though weary, hadn't dared sleep much, waking early to await news from Lady Elara's courtyard. They hadn't even had time to eat. Lord Cashin personally led Lord Kale to see the Grand Matron, while Lord Lyman Thorne accompanied Lord Corvin for a meal. As for Lord Galen, the steward would make arrangements. As the lords dispersed, Lord Galen followed the steward toward the servants' quarters. Whether it was because Lord Anson Thorne was no longer present or because of the recent reprimand from Lady Elara, the steward's gaze toward Lord Galen held a mix of pity and haughtiness. Lord Galen, head bowed, didn't see his expression, and wouldn't have cared if he had. Hearing Lady Elara's sharp words, his uneasy heart finally settled. Lady Elara's rebuke, delivered in calm words, told him her spirit was stable. Her criticism was for bringing Lord Kale, not for Lord Galen himself, which meant Lady Elara needed and approved of his return. Lady Elara's words that no one could guarantee absolute safety implied that something could, and likely would, go wrong. Lady Elara's ordeal was indeed a serious matter. Lord Galen felt no panic. His mind was at ease and his steps grew steadier. Lord Anson Thorne's trusted attendants were never afraid of trouble. What they feared was not knowing trouble existed.